Welcome, everybody. Well, tonight we are going to be talking about hacking, and what better way than to learn more about the Republic of Hackers. So, welcome to another CyberPapa's New Battlefields, and stay tuned for an exciting show tonight. And welcome again. So with me, as always, is the Cyber Warrior. So Cyber Warrior, how are you doing?
Look, I'm doing fantastic. It's Thursday. We're here on New Battlefields, and we got a hell of a lineup tonight heading into tomorrow. It's going to be a great 2 days for us.
Oh, yes, definitely. What do we have going on tomorrow on your show tomorrow?
So tomorrow we got Scott Jones, who's joining us once again, and this time we're talking GRC and education. So getting away from some of the more technical aspects of security and going more towards policy and regulation on top of the education aspects going into it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So everybody, stay tuned tomorrow, 7 o'clock for Security Happy Hour. So let's get to it today. So today we have an exciting lineup of folks that come to us from the Republic of Hackers that we're going to talk about. What is the Republic of Hackers? What do they do? How do they help the community? And how you can join the Republic of Hackers. So without further ado, let's bring in our panel from Republic of Hackers. Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Doing well.
So,
hello.
Come on, let's get the excitement going here. All right.
I'm in a secret location right off of the beach working remotely. How's that?
Oh, that's wonderful. And that's what hackers do. Secret locations, right?
Yeah. Trying to OSET in this background. There's nothing.
All right, so let's introduce each one of you. Let's start with Tina. Go ahead.
I am Tina Shakur. Most of you on the Hackers Discord know me as Leeloo1313. That has not been broadly known, so I'm kind of coming out of the shadows a little bit. And I work mostly on my hacker side. I'm Blue Team and OSINT.
Wonderful. All right, let's go to Maekshyft.
so a lot of people probably don't know. If you do, it's whatever. It's name's David Fraley, and obviously most people know me on Twitter and Discord as Maekshyft. I'm one of those admins, the Goofy Four, and day job I do some Blue Team stuff.
All right, wonderful. And Mr. TheRaven.
The one and only troll of Eric Belardo himself. Hi, everyone. I'm Josh, also known as the Raven on our Discord. I've been a sysadmin, solution architect, help desk, desktop, and most recently full stack security analyst focusing on the penetration testing red team side in the financial industry.
Wonderful. So this is kind of funny that most of the Republic of Hackers people are GRC or Blue Team. What's going on here, guys?
Blue Team wins!
You know, they say that, but then it's the Blue Team channel on their Discord that gets the least amount of love.
That is true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I want to be like a really cool hacker and pop shells and do all of that, but I get really annoyed and frustrated, and then I just go Google the answer. So, I joined Republic of Hackers. Zero ID recruited me over. We were doing the Try Hack Me advent of cyber, not the last one, but the one before. So I was an early member of Republic of Hackers, and obviously I'm one of the staff now too. But I would love to be cool. Like, I mean, Raven and Make are both better at this stuff, but my secret skill is OSINT. Yeah.
Awesome.
Blue Team during the day, OSINT at night.
That's wonderful. And that's a very important area of both the red teaming, penetration testing. It's getting that first step of recon, and that's the very big important part. So, Maekshyft, how did you come into the field, and what is it that you do? What is it that you enjoy doing? And then go into the Republic of Hackers, and what do you like to do there?
Oh man! All right. Well, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, but the reason
Too late.
Impossible.
Too late.
No, the way I ended up getting into the industry was, and I've done a couple talks on this, is I did a lot of networking. I have a thing with talking to people and making friends and just connecting with people. So that's what I did on Twitter. I just connected with literally anybody and everybody that I could learn from. And it wasn't even just a case of me messaging them on, how can I hack or whatever. No, I'm like asking them like, hey, like, what are some of your hobbies and stuff, like literally trying to be friends with these people. And it, obviously I was doing that, and I was studying for my SEC plus, ended up passing that. Was, I had my own hacker channel at the time, which a lot of people might not know, but it was actually called Hackers United. And yeah, and I was very active in there, and I was, just, studying and everything on my own. I was still in help desk at the time, and I ended up actually getting my current job that I have now, which is information security analyst, through networking. It's somebody that I won't out them or anything, but they reached out to me and they were like, hey, we're looking to fill an information security analyst role. Would you like to interview for it? And I said, absolutely, And he goes, we don't need you to have any prior knowledge or anything. He goes, we're going to train you from the ground up on this. He goes, the fact that you have your security plus and that you have the passion and everything to learn this, that's what we're looking for. And interviewed with them and everything, and ended up getting the job. And that job pretty much consists of me. Josh will give me crap for it because he always says that it's a SOC analyst, but I do. It's some of it is kind of SOC analyst-y, I guess, where I'm clearing alerts and everything and trying to get logs. But a lot of what I've been doing recently is, Floyd, I swear to God, I'm going to get nothing but crap from everybody. No, so a lot of what I've been doing recently is implementing new policies, because our security infrastructure is, still very much in its infancy. There's a lot of things that were thrown together, to check off that compliance list, but none of it was really fine-tuned the way that it should be. And so that's been a lot of our job recently. I've been doing a lot of some of our DLP policies and password policies and all this other stuff, so that's been that. And as far as the Republic of Hackers, yeah, it's been a wild ride. Like I said, I started off with Hackers United and ended up joining in with Zero UID, and kind of talked to each other. And we're like, hey, like both of our Discord servers are very, very similar in what our motives are and what we're trying to accomplish. We didn't really have a whole lot of people. I think he had like 30 at the time, and I had like just right around 100, I think. And together, and I brought my people over to his server. We renamed it Republic of Hackers, and it's literally what it is today, where we've got over 1,000 people in the server now, just a little over 1,000. And I mean, as these two right here can sit back and kind of give credit to the fact that it's like we've helped people get jobs.
Yep.
We've helped people pass certifications.
We're gonna get to that. So I'm gonna stop you right there and go to Josh up here. Josh. So tell us about you, Josh.
Yeah. So 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now, went to college, went to a technical school, got a network and internet security diploma, A+ Network Plus CCNA at the time as well. It was kind of like WGU does. You get certifications that goes towards your final grade or whatever. So went through that, struggled through it because it was self-paced, and I'm terrible. I'm ADHD all over the place, but I struggled through it, got it. Ripped into a help desk gig really quick. Landed help desk and desktop for about a year, and then moved right into sysadmin. Worked sysadmin for 10 years until I got my TOGAF and some other certifications. Worked in solutions architecture for a while. Realized that the place that I was at just, it wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. So I actually moved into a DBA role. And from the DBA role, I bumped myself, kind of weaseled my way into the security role. I called the security manager. I had good rapport with the manager and the other guys. And I said, look, like, I'll start doing some work on the side. I'll do it after hours on lunch, and kind of just worked my way into it. And then they finally offered me a job, and kind of built out the red team, program from there. It is a brand new penetration testing red team program. But as of late, I've been doing a ton of solution architecture again. We're reviewing our EDR system. We're reviewing our SIEMs. And so I've been doing a ton of vendor calls, a lot of vendor management, bringing in SMEs from all over the agency, ensuring test groups are there. So I've been doing a bit of project management, I guess. And I love dealing with people. I'm a chatterbox. Not as much as Dave, but I am a chatterbox. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I've also started a little company with two friends, and we're going to be releasing our product in the next couple months. We're doing pitches to investors, and they asked me to come on as the CISO. So I've done that, and doing a lot of GRC, learning a ton about learning a lot of frameworks and a lot of policies, writing a lot more documentation than I thought I ever would be, even as a red teamer. The documentation as a GRC pro, a little bit heavier. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I'm just going to say real quick, I am usually the biggest talker in any room, and so far I'm not.
No. Did you notice I had to use the hook on Maekshyft?
Oh man, it won't be the first time tonight, Eric. I can tell you that.
Well, so one of the things, Josh, that you said TOGAF there, and my ears went like this because I was part of the group that wrote the first DODAF.
Oh, there you go.
So I was on version 0.1 of that one. So that's pretty interesting that you went from a security architect role and moving in there. That's something that we don't talk about a lot in these shows. The part of that security architecture, the technical architecture, and all those things. So you gave me a good idea for other shows. So
sure. My TOGAF is 9.1, so I'm out of date already, I'm sure. That was I think 6 or 7 years ago now. So yeah, so I definitely need to renew it.
So one of the things that dear old Maekshyft said, and I'm going to address this question to Tina. So one of the biggest things, let's table that one and go, what is, for all our audience, what is the Republic of Hackers? How would you guys describe the Republic of Hackers?
We are not here to help you hack your boyfriend's account in Facebook and text messages.
What? Man.
We are ethical hackers who actually spend a lot of our time and energy helping anyone get into cybersecurity who shows an interest, who is willing to do a little bit of Google research on their own instead of saying, I can have cybersecurity job how? That's what we are. We are ethical hackers across the spectrum, as I mentioned, red, blue, purple. And we are there to network and help people learn and, understand interview process, resume reviews, capture the flags, and basically shitpost about Raven and me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Leonardo just said something very important, because this is something that you guys tell all the people that are there that are trying to learn, is use those subscriptions that you have, not just, try Hack Me, Hack the Box, or any of the other ones out there, but you guys really encourage that. And you guys do something very interesting in the Discord, and I'm talking about all the live streams that you guys do on a daily basis. Josh, why don't you talk about those? Okay, Maekshyft.
All you do is live stream and then harass the rest of us that we're not live streaming enough. This should be, yeah.
Here's the thing: we don't live stream enough. I would love more people live streaming every day and having a bigger community of it. I mean, we have Knight doing the live streams, Pond Muncher doing the live streams. We have QHum, weekly that does the USCP prep. We're trying to get into EJPT prep stuff. My life has been crazy busy. I wish I could have started it just to kind of get some traction. But you know what? The group has actually gone in and the channel has really grown. So yeah, I'm at a loss for words. But yeah, I love streaming. I take over my lunch hours, and that's what I'll do is I'll stream and I'll post. I'll crap talk everybody. But at the end of the day, it's hop on, stream, ask questions. You're going to get into the server you're going to get out of the server what you put into it. If you come in and you just creep, that's awesome. I mean, as long as you're learning and you're soaking something up, come in and ask questions, be courageous. And, we had a new person, not a hacker 210, I think, hop in, just 2 days ago, and he's already streaming. And he's like, hey, I want to learn how to stream and I want to learn how to hack. And he popped on, and we have Knight. I mean, our Knight's on a 378-day streak right now with TryHackMe, isn't in the industry, and Knight is insane. And he's just owning he's top 6 in the world. And he'll come on and he'll help you without telling you what the answer is. He's going to teach you and guide you to get to that end goal as you learning. So, just hop on and stream, or ask me to stream and be like, hey, Josh, can you set aside 10-15 minutes today and show me this technique? I'll probably struggle through it myself because I'm a noob, but I'll try.
You're shy. You're actually really strong. I wish I could hack as well as you. Just get on the console and be doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I'm flattered.
We have had 2 people just this week on the Discord say that they've gotten job offers with significant increases in salary.
Yeah. So one of the things that Maekshyft said was the networking. So he got his job by networking. And now one of the things that you guys do a lot and encourage a lot in the Republic of Hackers. Tina, you do a lot of stuff with resume reviews, interviews. Talk about what you guys do to support those people that are trying to get into the industry, and they need those, what I call in all my videos, the human skills.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, we started doing the resume reviews because we had so many people saying what's the best practices, things like that. And Poncho and she and I do a lot of the resume reviews. I know Raven and some others have done one-offs. I edited Raven's resume too.
I made an interview out of it.
Yeah. And so we do that, and then we have done the mock interviews. We had a lot of fun with that, but where Raven and I, came at it, he asked a lot of red team questions. I asked a lot of blue team questions. I do a lot of the behavioral questions too, like, tell me about a time that you failed and how did you recover from it? The questions that people aren't expecting but will show up, especially if you're applying for some of the larger companies.
Yeah.
And then we've started recently the Republic of Hackers Happy Hour. It's only on the Discord. It is not recorded. And it's things like how to communicate something to a recruiter or an executive quickly and make impact, or how to negotiate your salary, how to negotiate a difficult situation at work. So we spend a lot of time on that.
All righty. So, Josh, one of the things that we always talk about is what you guys do to support the learning, and support the folks that are coming in. With a name like Republic of Hackers, they get, a little worrisome, if you will. But what are things that you guys do for those people that are just joining the server? Talk to them.
Yeah. First and foremost, like like Tina said, we do a lot of resume reviews. In terms of learning, we have an EJPT course that we're offering to anybody that wants to join up. It's a little subgroup. You add your role to it, and you can interact with other people that are taking the course. The EJPT is free, and it's a $200 certification. So do it at your own pace. Log in. Hack with us. We haven't done much for that. Like I said, QHUM as well is doing a weekly stream for the OSCP prep, where he gets on, he streams 2 or 3 boxes, walks you through pen testing notes, walks you through what the note taking is going to be like on OffSec's test. OSCP is Offensive Securities Penetration Testing Certification. EJPTs is INE's pen testing certification. The EJPT is more of an intro. If you have 0 to no experience, that would be one I would start with. OSCP is more if you have a year or 2 in the industry, you have done some CTFs, you understand the fundamentals of note-taking, technical writing, and penetration testing. Mm-hmm. From there, he runs an awesome course. He schedules it probably once a week, once every couple of weeks lately. He was busy this last week, where I think this week coming up, he's doing Active Directory exploitation. So you can sign on, learn AD exploitation, learn how to do technical documentation in OSCP's prep form, and submit your report at the end for the points that you need to pass. Security Plus, I have a whole bunch of resources that I've shared with people, practice exams. Maekshyft has been deadly with it too. He's always supportive of anyone that needs to. Not a lot of people have come in lately that are looking for the Sec Plus. When we started, a ton of people were, and a lot of people I'm assuming have passed, because now they're looking on the offensive certs and even the BTL1 certs. And so, it's awesome. I mean, any questions you have, we're always open. Like I say all the time on the Discord, my DMs are open. If I don't get back to you in a day or 2, I'm sorry. It's just, that's the nature of my work. Sometimes I have a lot of time, sometimes I have none, but we're always here for you. At the end of the day, we're not taking a profit from this. We're here to help other people out. That's what we want to do. That's right. And that's what we're here for, is just to I want to make sure that everybody that I interact with that puts in the work will succeed and surpass my skill set, because at the end of the day, that's how we break down the barriers of gatekeeping, and that's how we build other people up and ensure that this is going to be a healthy, supportive community of loving people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maekshyft.
No, I mean, that's I literally have nothing else to add to that. I mean, Josh nailed it on the head. I mean, we're always there to answer questions. And I mean, we literally have a channel that says get help. If you have any questions, that way you're not having to reach out to just one or two, one of us or whatever. And if, you reach out to Josh and he's busy, well, your question's you might not get an answer back for a couple days or whatever because of his schedule. But if you put that question down in that chat, or the hope is that somebody will eventually see it and get to it, and that you're going to have, multiple people looking at it. And if you don't get your answer, or your answer within, a day or so, that's when you tag one of us and say, hey, I had posted a question here. I haven't gotten anything. Has anybody had a chance to look at this? Smell my beard.
You see what I started doing, right? And this is because of you. Okay? Because I want to be just like you.
I'm on week 2. I said I'm going to give it 6 months. I'll see what I can do for a beard. It's probably not going to be great.
What about you, Tina? When are you going to start growing it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is my
You want to
COVID
think about
project.
that for a second?
This was my COVID project. It hasn't been cut in a year and a half. God help me.
All right. So when you guys started, I'll just ask you this question. When you guys started Republic of Hackers, did you envision what it is now? 1,000 people strong, people coming in there. It is a very active place for learning and community, and always beating up on Maekshyft. So it's, did you guys even dream that it was going to become what it is right now?
No.
Matt,
Go ahead, Tina.
I just thought I was joining like a little hacking thing, and we were going to shitpost and like help each other with try hack me. And the next thing I knew, I was doing these I mean, like there was responsibility with it,
Yeah.
right? We had to like boot our first person who was being offensive to others. You know, we're very, very strict that it's an inclusive community. We're global, and I didn't expect that, and now here we are, right?
And I want you to talk about that because one of the things about Republic of Hackers is that it's a safe community. It is a very safe community where there are very strict rules and things that are not tolerated. Like, one of the things that I very much dislike about like the Twitter scene or the Facebook scene is that somebody asks a question and says, what about this? And you see 10 people respond going, well, if you don't know that, you shouldn't be here. But that kind of stuff, talk about that, how you guys control that within the Republic of Hackers.
We have a staff channel that is limited to staff, and it is global, right? So all hours of the day, we have people there, and we can take action if it's particularly offensive or dangerous, right? Any of us can drop the hammer and kick somebody out. We prefer to do it by consensus. So we report the issue, and we move pretty fast, I think. Because we're ethical hackers, there is no nonsense on racism, slander by gender. There's none of that. We have no tolerance, and if we see it, or if we don't see it, and somebody's feeling bad, they should reach out to one of us directly. Because as much as we all try to be as much there, we do miss things. But we handle it. It's in our rules. It's in our principles. We all try to make sure that we adhere to that too. The way we show up outside of the staff channel. Some of the things we might say in the staff channel might be a little off color.
No.
But we try to exemplify that too.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're here to be, anti-oppressive, right? We want to be fully inclusive of everything, everybody. I mean, I don't want to even mention one group because I'm in fear of not mentioning another. So at the end of the day, we're here to love each other, and that's all we want to do is help each other by growing and not oppressing anybody in any way, shape, or form, no matter what subsect of any category that you belong to. We're here for you.
Okay. So, Make, I want you to reply to ITPR guy here and tell him how you guys approach that comment that he just made there.
So I will tell you that go ahead and ask it, obviously. I mean, I made sure, like when we started even just combining the Discord servers and really starting to try to grow this, that was one of those things that like I didn't want people to be afraid to ask questions. I don't care if it's super dumb. Like if you go to ask that on Twitter, like you were saying earlier, somebody might put you down for it. They might start bashing you, saying, hey, like you don't belong here if you're going to ask something that's dumb. That's not going to happen in our server. We might ask you a couple other questions or say, hey, like, have you done any research behind this? But we will never put you down for asking any question.
Well, and by asking these questions that you're saying is you're encouraging the curiosity. You're encouraging to say, you're not going to give them the answer, but you're going to give them a way, a pattern to go find it themselves and then verify.
Well, and not only that, but it is a skill that is necessary regardless of where you go in cybersecurity, whether it's red team, blue team, purple team, yellow team,
Correct.
Whatever, it's you have to know how to do your own research. Like when I'm looking up how to do different policies and best practices and everything, like I'm Googling that stuff to get information on that so that I can then turn around and write our best practices for these policies. If you're red team, you might be Googling different scripts or whatever to throw at something. Like you're always having to do your own research before you ask. So it's like, not only are we trying to, get you to do your own homework and everything on it, but we're also trying to kind of encourage you to understand, like, that's a skill you need to have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
You
So-
might also.
Can I ask that question that popped up from Ms. W about the diversity officer?
There you go. Go for it.
Yeah. So unofficially, it's probably Poncho, but it's also Raven. It's interesting that the staff, in of itself, we do question each other at times with language or tone or thoughts, but it is shocking to me how deep this group supports diversity and inclusion. And I make that second statement because diversity and inclusion means different styles, different educational backgrounds, different
Correct.
social income, social, whatever. And, it's great because on Discord you can be anonymous. And for a while, my avatar was my dog. And then I was like, you know what, people should know who I really am, which is part of why I doxed myself tonight. But we don't have a diversity officer. We share that load. I think bias training wouldn't hurt us because it never hurts anyone. And with that note, I know there are some really cool Harvard tests that are free, that are online, that check you for biases. I'm going to send that around to the staff later.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, and of course, you guys got me as the token Puerto Rican. No, but that was a joke. Please, okay.
Wait, you're not Mexican? Dang it!
Oh, we're gonna have some words. Okay, so
I kid, Eric. I love you.
and you guys have Raices Cyber for the Hispanic, Latinos, Latinas, and Latinx community out there that supports you guys, and you guys know how tight we are. So I will help with anything diversity, equity and inclusion on those things with Republic of Hackers at any point in time, if need be. So, Leeloo, but those questionnaires are very good. Those unconscious bias ones are very, very good. And we all have to accept that we all have unconscious biases. But one of the things that I know from being at the Republic of Hackers now for almost a year now, I'm coming up on 1 year, and it's that it is an inclusive team. It doesn't matter if you're from India or you're from Europe or you're from that country to the north of us, whatever. I don't know. One of those.
The frozen wasteland known as Canada. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh, which one?
That was culturally insensitive of me, and I humbly
Canadian?
apologize.
Well, that's all right.
Except for Raven.
Colonel Panic today said that Canada is the Florida of Alaska.
Well, it's starting to get there. Yeah. You drive a truck or something? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's not go there.
I'm talking politics. I had a friend. I'm very opinionated sometimes, especially on Twitter. And I had a friend that had asked me to remove some posts because he found them too offensive because he didn't view my beliefs. And of course, I respect my friendships more so than random strangers on Twitter. So I complied, and so I have to be more conscious of being loving to people that I don't fully agree with either. So that's a 2022 goal for myself.
Well, that's a 2022 goal for all of us. We all have to come together. It's just crazy right now. But one of the things that I want to go back to is the networking piece of Republic of Hackers. Josh, when you talk about the networking and how many people have gotten jobs from the training, the camaraderie, all the different things that you guys do, can you talk a little bit about the successes of Republic of Hackers?
So I came on, networking first and foremost is how I found the Republic of Hackers. I had met Dave, and him and I instantly hit it off. We became great buds over a really short amount of time, and then he invited me onto Fancy Fridays, and that's with a group of InfoSec professionals. I went to a few of those. It was a really good, really positive experience. And he said, you know what, I have this Discord. Why don't you hop on? And I did. And, you know, we kind of hit it off. I mean, I was quite active in that, like I am now with Republic Hackers. And then Zero and Dave merged, and they had asked me to become a mod. And I said, yeah, or I think an admin, and they're like, right to an admin. And I said, yeah, for sure. I'll rock that. So I got this really awesome experience and this really awesome opportunity to become an admin on a Discord server with, you know, I think it was like a couple dozen people at the time. And, you know, watching it grow and the activity of just, like I said, and I say this wholeheartedly, like this platonic love for each other, of just wanting to help, and this implicit, you know, want to just be an inclusive environment for everybody. I think that's how people progress. And, you know, you can have all the smarts in the world, but if you don't have that environment that fosters this love and care, then, you know, it might go to waste because you might not believe in yourself, or you might not get that extra push. So, you know, I don't know too many people myself that have come out and said, hey, I got the Sec Plus. I mean, I know a few for sure. Abraxas, you know, Dave, I mean, you and I went, how many study sessions did you and I have?
A lot.
And we had one-on-ones where I called him and we did flashcards together, and it was just like, this is how it is. And I opened it to everybody. I mean, you know, there's a few people that have gotten jobs, and, you know, it's only comes weeks or maybe a month after they call me and they're like, hey, let's do an interview prep, or can you look at my resume? And I love it. And I mean, Tina and Dave do such a wonderful job, and Poncho and Tennis and Red Skull and everybody on the server. We all are open to helping and giving back, because the community has been so good to us that we've been able to excel in our positions, that why not give it back? I mean, it's all about breaking down those barriers. So
I've had a number of people who've done resume reviews who've privately, I would say about a half a dozen, who've privately messaged me and said, like, I was getting no interviews, and then after going through resume review with you and Poncho, I'm getting interviews now, and they've gotten offers and things like that. So, like, you know, and that just makes me really happy, because as a girl in tech, I had a lot of barriers, and if I can help others, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that is incredibly impressive on the server is when somebody mentions, "Hey, I just got a new job and increased my salary by 20,000, 30,000, 40,000." And the way that you see 500 people jumping on there and saying, congratulations, you go, all this stuff, that is so inspiring. Yep. And, you know, something that needs to be said, because it's not just a place to learn, it's a place to develop friendships, it's a place to develop mentors and mentees, and like we like to call them peer relationships.
Peer guide.
You see, Josh, I do listen to you sometimes.
Sometimes.
I wouldn't advise that.
I pick and choose. Okay. But yeah, those peer relationships that are developed, and how amazing the feeling is when somebody there, you know, reaches a milestone, either gets a cert, you know, has a birthday, you know, it doesn't matter what the milestone is, but it's a very supportive thing. And I think that's because of you guys and the way that you've built this thing. So
us. Well, the interaction with, you know, Eric, you, Cyber Warrior. I mean, you guys hop in. You've given guidance. I mean, there's no us. I mean, we're just staff. We're here to foster the community. I mean, at the end of the day, all of us, everybody does it. It's not the staff that drives it. I mean, today I was watching, you know, Leon online, you know, saying an accomplishment that he had and he didn't accomplish, and people are like, this is great. And I just stood back and I was like, this is what we want. This is, you know, as a server, not as a staff, but as a server. And that's what our goals are, is just to make sure that it's kind of this whole ecosystem of just, you know, care for each other and, you know, letting the outcasts shine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're all outcasts, let's be honest. I mean, if you really look at it, that's how a lot of people view us and see us. And so to come together as a collective, it's all about what we've been able to accomplish. And I joked about it earlier, but without David, who is one of the guests I had early on in the show and in the season, I loved seeing what he did. I mean, someone talked about success earlier, and it was funny because right after he was on my show, he came out of his shell. He learned he could do it, and that this was him. And so seeing him hit that was amazing.
I will hop in here real quick, and I know I've said this to you before, but thank you, because jumping on your show has launched everything to where I am right now. Like, seriously, that is not me, blowing smoke up your ass or anything like that. Like, that is wholeheartedly, like, I jumped on there, I connected with somebody, we went over resumes, I started connecting with other people because of that. I would not be sitting here with these wonderful people. I would not have the Discord that I do. Nothing. I wouldn't even have a job that has allowed me to, live a more, for lack of a better word, lavish lifestyle, if it weren't for your show. That has jump started everything.
And what are you drinking now?
Right.
It's gone now, but I had an old fashioned.
Yeah. He went from Mad Dog 2020 to now drinking old fashioned. So I am so proud of you.
But it comes down to what Republic of Hackers is, and really, like I said, my show was just a start, but for me, it's the same mission, the same goal, the same dream of seeing others succeed and seeing others grow. And Republic of Hackers as a community, as a family, as a collective of just like-minded individuals is really what it comes down to. Yeah. And seeing the success of others through what Republic of Hackers has done has been amazing, because you guys you've done the cert courses, the trainings, the resume reviews. Look, you guys have done more for resumes and helping people than I have the time to do. And I've had people reach out to me and be like, hey, can you review my resume? And it takes me probably a month to get back to someone, where you guys do it on a whim.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for my resume.
Well, to be fair, like we do get those DMs that say, like, how do I break into cybersecurity? And we get a lot of those, and I get a lot on Twitter of like, what cloud cert should I get, right? Because I do blue teaming in clouds. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know. I have no context for that. Like, I don't know where you're located. I don't know what your education level is. I don't know what your experience is. So to be fair, there is a downside to what we do. We get a lot of those people who are like, I feel like and I actually told somebody recently, I said, I am not the mentor that you need.
Correct.
I'm not in the right place close enough to you to help you through this.
Well, here's something that I got both in Raices and in my personal mentorship and, things that I've been doing. I put together a video just about a few weeks ago called Cybersecurity is Not a Job. So if you're on the YouTube, go look at that video on here, because we have a very bad PR problem in cybersecurity, okay? Cybersecurity is a career field. There are 50 different career pathways. When you don't hear, I want to get into healthcare, I want to learn healthcare. Well, do you want to be a doctor, a nurse, a X-ray tech, a receptionist, EMT? We have the same thing in cybersecurity, and we have to start talking to people. So I broke down in that video what is red, what is blue, what is all this stuff, and just some pathways. How do you learn? How do you search for these things? And one of the things that happens is that we, as a community of people that are in it, we need to start talking about, okay, so what is it when we get that question? I want to learn cybersecurity, okay? direct them into the right place. Tell them what is cybersecurity? And cybersecurity is a field, like we said. Okay, what is it that you want to learn? Where are your passions? And the other part is people get very scared of, well, I want to learn red teaming. I want to go in red teaming. Well, if you talk to the graybeards like me and Josh, we've been in for I've been in for 32 years now, 32 years in this career field. I've done probably about, I got a niche right here.
He's been around since dinosaurs roamed the earth. I mean, come on,
dude.
now.
My
His
first
car was a
programming,
T-Rex.
my first programming was on punch cards. So don't.
Okay, mine was basic, so yeah.
I was Fortran 77 Pascal, so. But we need to start teaching people, how to get in the field, not just okay, the sexy one, right? Everybody wants to go Republic of Hackers. Everybody wants to be a hacker. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so how do we go? Okay, how do we get them in there? What is it when somebody comes to you guys and says, I want to get into the field? What I want one suggestion from each one of you, all right? And I'm going to go and say, Tina, you go first.
Gee, great, because there's a bunch of noise in the alley behind me right now. Somebody's breaking down boxes or something. The thing that I ask most is, what do you do now that you like, right? If anything. So I'll share a small story to answer this. When I was a kid, I thought I was going to grow up to be Nancy Drew. I loved Nancy Drew. And she was a strong female who could solve problems and pick locks. I just thought she was the shit. Strangely enough, OSINT fits that, right? Like I go and I search and I do things and I find out information. My day job is more about protecting from people like Raven. He claims he's blue team, but I know a thing or two. Mm-hmm. So, I think that I ask, what do you like now? And what are you expecting, right? And start going from there, because it's not always a direct line to what is the right fit for you, especially for people of diversity and marginalized groups.
Correct.
You may gravitate to cyber because it's got good salaries, but you may actually have a fit that you don't know that you have. So that's usually where I start.
Okay, great. All right, Josh. Stop coding on the chat and tell us, what is it that you tell a new person that's coming into cyber?
Don't go 0 to 60 in two seconds. Take it slow, because a lot of people I know, they graduate college, graduate university, they get their cert, and they're like, I want to be a hacker. I want to be a red team. That's not how it goes. 99% of the time, unless you have an in somewhere or you've been in an internship, enjoy the ride along the way. Learn the blue team, learn the help desk, learn the desktop, because all of those are going to transfer into the skill that you want at the end. Red teaming is not an intro level, position. It isn't. Learn the systems, learn the intricacies, learn how they work, because if you don't understand how those work, how do you know how to manipulate them to get to what you want, right? If you don't understand EDR, if you don't understand SOC, you don't understand EDR or SIEM or UEBA or how to prevent and mitigate all those things and kind of circumvent those alerting. How can you be a functional red teamer if you don't understand how next gen AVs work? How do you know how to do an AMSI bypass?
I always tell them, because you just said a bunch of words that, what's XDR, what's EDR, what I tell them is this, very simple. If you don't know how to lock a door, how are you going to pick the lock?
Exactly. At the end of the day, learn the technologies before you learn how to break them and circumvent them, not specifically break them. But if you don't, if you don't understand PowerShell, how are you going to run a PowerShell exploit, right? How are you?
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's not with the PowerShell, Mr. Windows.
I'm a Windows guy. I've been a Windows guy.
If you cannot configure VLANs on a Cisco CLI, I do not want to talk to you.
What's SSH?
I can. Cisco CLI is where I started.
I learned Cisco. Like I took my CCNA before iOS. That was my CCNA journey.
Oh,
I have new techs coming up, and they're like, "Oh man, you learned before iOS. How did you do it?" I'm like,
iOS. What's that? Is that Apple? Oh wait,
That's what it is. That's what blows my mind. Is iOS is Apple, but then
no,
you see
it's
Cisco
Cisco.
iOS, and you're like,
come on.
I was at Cisco when that happened, and it was.
I'm surprised Cisco didn't sue them after that.
Yeah.
No, it was an agreement. It was an
Oh,
agreement.
was it?
Yeah, it was an agreement. Lowercase I, uppercase I, like it was a whole thing.
Wow.
Okay, so Maekshyft, what do you tell somebody about, how do they get into the field?
I always ask them, if they say, how do I get into cybersecurity? I go, what are you kind of doing right now? And like, of the field, like what's piqued your interest? If it's the red teaming side of stuff, what have you done to kind of dig further into that? If you're gonna do that, obviously we tell people all the time, like Josh was saying, if you don't know the blue team side of stuff, you're not knowing that only makes you the red team side of stuff. It only makes you better blue team, So I always try to tell them like, okay, yeah, if you learn the hacking, all you want, but don't neglect the blue team side of stuff. Understand how, just understand how to defend things, because you're
And I always tell people, learn how to defend the stuff, learn how to configure the stuff, defend the stuff, and then how to attack the stuff. And, that's a good career path. The jobs for security analysts, SOC analysts, SecOps, those types of jobs are more plentiful and are needed. So now, as we come up to the top of the hour, I really want you guys to talk a lot about what do let's bring in more people into the Republic of Hackers, into the field of cybersecurity. What kind of outreach things that you guys are doing to bring in more people?
Oh, me first? Okay. I think what we're trying to do is host more events. That has been a big thing that we have been wanting to do going forward into 2022, is have more events, whether that's like what we just did where we were talking about negotiating salaries, whether that's the OSCP prep, whether it's the EJPT stuff, whatever it is, have more events, because I think a lot of people, when you're wanting to understand and learn this stuff, sometimes it's almost better when you do it with somebody. So having like a group for EJPT or whatever, that you can reach out to saying, hey, I don't understand this particular concept or whatever, can you help me? And have them just, elaborate a little bit more on it. I think doing it as a team really is bringing more people in.
Good. All right. Mr. Josh.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo what Dave said. We have partnered with StudioSec, getting those YouTube videos out there. We're in the middle of partnering possibly with Raices. We're just waiting on Eric to get some checks and balances in place. We're trying to get ourselves out in the YouTube community. We're trying to get our YouTube channel. We were starting with that, but of course we have moved on to different things to focus on the Discord. People are trickling in from the couple videos we have with QHUM. I'd love to advertise more on Twitter. We do have a Republic of Hackers at Rep of Hackers on Twitter that we do post some stuff, and we definitely plug the Discord server with our events and our giveaways. We do giveaways quite often, surprisingly. We are partnered with Cyber Supply Drop with Josh, and I think I've given out probably 200 or 300 stickers at this point and some T-shirts, and we had Blendster on. If you guys don't know who Blendster is, guys and gals, non-binary pals. Sorry, we had a really awesome hardware hacking course with Blendster. He's Mr. Blinky Bling CEO.
Yeah.
He showed us how to do some soldering. That was phenomenal. Colonel Panic set that one up. So we're trying to get more in. We're trying to get more events. And I mean, if you have a suggestion, if you're like, hey, Josh or Tina or Dave or Poncho or whoever, and we have this really good idea. Can I run something on the server? Run it by us. And I mean, like I said, we're staff, but we don't own the site. Everybody is equal members. We're just here to make sure that jerks don't hop onto the server and start spamming us. That's all we're here for. At the end of the day, you are just as important. Every member is just as important as a staff member or an admin. We're all equal. We're total equity based, we're awesome.
Well, you are. You don't have to be shy about it. You are.
Okay. All right, Tina.
I honestly would say, as far as the Discord is concerned, I don't think we do enough to get people into the Discord. So I'm going to rain on the shiny parade from Dave and Josh. We try our best. It's nonprofit. It's volunteer driven. We need more people in the community to step up and comment and throw those suggestions out, like Josh said. Our Twitter handle is sometimes on, sometimes off. We had a pinned tweet up there for like 6 months that was irrelevant. As our personal brands, we do a lot to promote the Discord, but also to shoot down gatekeepers. I think Raven is working on how many people will block him for calling them out. On gatekeeping and just being jerks on Twitter. So I think that we can do more, but as staff, we are limited, and we need more of the community that's there to bring their ideas to us.
Yep. Amazing. And that's very important. And like we mentioned, we're working on some things to partner with Raices right now. Raices Cyber, if you don't know, go to raicescyber.org. We're working on things to bring in Republic of Hackers to support on some things, and we're going to support them as well. You guys can find us at raicescyber.org on Twitter or raicescyber.org on the website there. And just a reminder, we're a 501c3. Okay, so I want to thank you guys, but before I let you go, I am going to ask one question of you three. And it's a very important question. And it's, what do you want the community and us to help you with? What is the one thing that you guys need some help or would like some help from the community or from us here at Cyber Warrior Studios or Eric Belardo Cyber or Raices? So
I have a 2022 challenge for both of you. Derek, Eric, I would like more engagement from Raices and Cyber Warrior Studios. I think that the groups that you have, I try and hop on Cyber Warriors just to creep Discord. I'm not on Raices right now. I actually don't have the Discord link. But I think us as a group, we can bring ourselves together, and with the activity that you guys have, and the amount of followers that you guys have, I think not only bringing some people into, Republic of Hackers, but gaining more traction where we can, if you promote yourselves on our site, like we've said before, we absolutely support Cyber Warrior. Dave's made the start of his career starting out, on a Cyber Warrior video. And we would love for more people to be impacted by Derek and his mission. We would love more people to be impacted by Raices and Eric, your vision. And of course, we're an intermediary. We have our own group, we have our own little fun that we have, but let's all come together a little bit more and, as a group, break down that gatekeeping, because that's all I want in this world is to have the people that someone said earlier, they're shy, not in so many words, but they said that they don't ask specific questions. And, I want to break that down because I want that one person to just have the courage to ask the question, because he's not asking the question. Think of all the people that are even more shy than that person is, that they're so shy. So he might break down that barrier because we've allowed that loving, accepting, group to allow that person and enable them to ask that question. Now 20 more people have the answer to. That's 20 people that we reached with that one person having that courage. So if we can bring everyone together, that's the goal.
Okay.
I want more geek girls to stand up.
Well, let me give you something big that's happening that Raices is a sponsor of. If anybody knows, there is a big competition called Wicked Six. And Wicked Six is happening March 23rd and 24th. And it's thousands of women playing cyber games across the world. And we are partnering with Play Cat's Eye, US Cyber Team, and some other organizations. So please visit wicked6.com. And Leeloo, I'm going to get you into some of these other groups as well with Cat's Eye and some other ones that are, their mission is to bring more women into cyber.
We're here. We get driven out.
And if you look at all the people that are in the Raices size, you've got Elle, which you saw her last week on our show. You've got Mary, who is part of TechSec Chicks. You've got Miss W that does a lot of stuff for our community. We've got a lot of folks in here that we just got to bring them over and create those groups in Republic of Hackers and support all these things. The second part is the Spanish community. And Leon, who is on both Raices and Republic of Hackers, could be a moderator for the Spanish community within the Republic of Hackers. And I will volunteer for doing the interviews as a former CISO, well, current CISO, but I can do the questions, the interviews, and stuff like that with you guys if you want me to. Okay? Maekshyft.
Yeah.
Just spread the loving word. Seriously. I mean, it was the entire reason we decided to make this Discord was to, like everybody's been saying all night tonight, being inclusive, helping people get jobs, bettering themselves, and most importantly, giving them a safe space where they can be themselves, they can learn, they can ask questions, not be ridiculed for not knowing something. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Tina and Josh and freaking Derek and Eric, y'all know way more than me because you guys have been in this industry for a hell of a lot longer than me. So when you guys were even bringing up stuff like XDR and everything, I'm sitting here going like, I can't show, don't be.
Are you calling us old?
I'm calling you experienced.
Oh my God.
So,
well, to be fair, Eric is old. Eric is old. Nobody else is. Eric is old. Let's just establish that.
But in all honesty, yeah, I mean, it's, we want to have this community so that people can continue learning, continue bettering themselves, and just having a safe space where they don't have to be afraid to ask questions, be afraid to who they are, and jump on stream and show that you don't know something. It's not a bad thing. Like that's the only way you're gonna learn. And we don't jump in there to ridicule you. We jump in there to see your methodology, see how you handle stuff, and kind of gently nudge you in the right direction so that you learn.
And I always tell people this, okay? Being in our field, being in cybersecurity, is a life learning job, okay? So everything that we know goes moves forward every 3 years, every 18 months, Moore's law and all that good stuff. The stuff that I came up learning are in museums. If I don't, and that's for real. I mean, I've been to museums and I'm like, oh, look, a deck.
Legit, the tech museum in San Jose is terrifying. They have like floppy disks.
Somebody
use floppy
somebody 3D printed the save button. Look at that. But
Seen that before. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So the reality is that we all have to keep on learning. And
Yes.
if I go into some of these Republic of Hackers, streams, there are things that I look at and go, what? So everybody needs to learn. It doesn't matter if you have been in the industry for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 30 years. If you stop learning, you start dying. Mm-hmm. So, the other thing that I tell everybody, please, and this is one of the tenets that I've seen of Republic of Hackers that is unspoken and needs to be spoken. It doesn't matter if you've been in for 3 months, 1 year, 10 years. Reach back, pull one out. Support each other, because even if you've been in for 3 months or 6 months, 3 or 6 months more than the person that just joined. Share your knowledge, share your support, share your encouragement. That is important, and that is one of the tenets of Republic of Hackers that is a fundamental to this server. So I have put the links right here for the Republic of Hackers Discord. I've kept it there for quite a while because it's long. Write it down, okay? And any last words from you guys?
We're in it together. Each one teach one, right? That's
Each one teach one.
Yep. So before we cut off, I do want to mention on top of Leeloo talking about, Tina sitting there saying we need to bring more women of cybersecurity up and things of that nature. That has been one of the things I've been trying to do. So one of the owners of SecCon 202, well, the person that runs SecCon 202 on Twitter, and she has a group down in I believe it's the DC area. She's going to be on the show. I have Rebecca Ford coming on the show in March, who is threat intel for Disney, or for somewhere, I don't know, somewhere big. And we got a bunch of people. So there's we just had Carolina. So we had Dork Phoenix on the show last week. So I've had Kalila twice. So these people are always on. So when you talk about bringing up the women geeks and things of that nature, that's not something me and Eric are shy about. There's always women in cyber that we're trying to bring on, and trying to spread the love. To the same with Raices Cyber. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what your name is. It doesn't matter. You're welcome, you're loved, you're cared for, and you mean a lot to the community. Yeah, and that is really what it comes down to. So I don't care race, sex, gender, age. It doesn't matter to us. And the each one teach one. I've tried to tell. Me and Eric were in a Twitter post with somebody else. It was like, oh, I'm just in college. I don't know. Dude, you're part of the community. If you want to be here, you're here. And enjoy it, love it, grow with us, and we'll bring you along.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being here today. If you're watching us either live or on the replay, please join Republic of Hackers. It's a great place to learn. It's great people and an amazing group of all of us trying to learn more about the field we all care and love about. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much, guys. Stay in the back room for a little bit, and thank you again for being here, Cyber Warrior. We will be on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Who remind us our guest?
Tomorrow we got Scott Jones, GRC in education, and it's going to be an amazing episode.
All right. Say goodbye, Mr. Cyber Warrior.
Hey, everybody, take care. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Come back after the stream to come back and comment, like, and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, because you're missing out.
and share this with the community. Thank you very much. And thank you again for a wonderful show to everybody in the community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until the next time, remember to practice safe cyber.